Modern day students are stressed. Think of it. A student in a boarding school wakes up, goes to school, finishes co-curriculars, barely has time to eat dinner, studies, gets barely enough amount of sleep, and then repeats the same cycle for 4 years until they finish high school. Why should the experience be like that? In the startup I'm making, we aim at making we target boarding schools specifically, and we aim at making their schedules make a student's experience 10 times better. How, you might ask? Well, traditionally, boarding schools have a schedule they've been following for years and years and years. However, what the startup I'm creating aims at doing is not only visiting the school and seeing the problems with their schedule, but conducting a full-on research in the school to see what is wrong with the schedule, what will work as a schedule, as an alternative schedule, how it will work, and tying it into the culture, because sometimes culture affects the schedule in many schools. So by visiting the school and not only researching the history of the school, but the culture around the school, we are able to construct a good schedule for the school. We will construct multiple schedules for each school, and then afterwards we will pitch it for the school. And before we pitch the schedule for the school will have to pay us for the research we do in their school. And then after we pitch our 3 ideas in their school, to implement our 3, 4, 5 ideas in the school, to implement our new schedule, they'll have to pay us, and then we will implement it over the year. It might be a 1-year process, it might be a 2-year process, depending on how big the schedule shift is. And then after implementing the schedule, we won't back out. We have some competitors in the field that do the same thing, but after implementing the schedule, they just forget about the school and they put it as one on the list of schools they've worked with. However, what our startup aims on doing is, after the schedule has been implemented, they will have visits to the school to make sure everything is going well for maybe a year, maybe 2 years, also depending on how big the schedule change is. If it's a major schedule change, it will happen over 2 years. If it's more of a minor schedule change, it will happen over 1 year. And we will conduct surveys on students, because students want to have an input on what's happening in their school, because they are the ones that are ultimately affected by that. And something we have over our competitors is we're going to have a conference, a yearly or an annual conference or biennial conference that will bring together schools from all around the world that have participated or want to participate, and work around the schedule, see what schedule worked the most, and just discuss the future of schedules in their schools and the future of education ultimately. So yeah.